Hey, MegaPick 9001 here. So, I wanted to make a video kind of just having an overall recap of TouhouFest, but I don't have footage for everything, so I was kind of wondering, how do I fill that time? And then I realized, at TouhouFest, that was kind of the first time a lot of people got to see my real face, and yeah, I was kind of just myself for a long time. And I think that's really cool, so I thought, hey, I would shoot a video with my real face extensively, edit the stuff I'm talking about in when I have the footage, and yeah, and maybe I'll use my face in the future, I don't know, seems cool. So so even before TouhouFest started, I was already having a really good time, because I was hosting my friend Mary, so picked her up from the airport, and then on the car ride back, it was like, oh my god, I have someone I can talk to about Touhou. It's just the entire weekend. We just talked about random stuff, like, you know, plot of Lil K, the best, like, Secret Ceiling Club songs, and yeah, that was fun. We spent the day together in Little Tokyo, and had a fun time there. I actually managed to find the next volume of Forbidden Scrollerly I needed, so that was cool. And in Little Tokyo, I actually met some other fans there who were going to TouhouFest, and one of them even said he liked my videos. So, that was really sweet, and yeah, I showed him to where the Touhou books were in the Kinokuniya, and like this time, I think it was they had like every volume of Wild and Horned Hermit, so that was cool. So yeah, so that happened, and then the next day is the actual day of the con. Or, not the actual day, but it's sort of the start, day 0. So it's like, I'm going in to get my badge, and then one of the staff members says, hey, I know you, I watched your videos. So just, that immediately off the spot was so surreal. But yeah, I was able to register, and then, yeah, I got to meet more people. Some people were like, hey, I'm a huge fan, and Suawako talked about this on Twitter, but like, for us creators, really, meeting fans is amazing. Like, knowing that there are people who, like, love the stuff we do, and seeing them thank us in person, that feeling is just so unmatched. So, yeah, if you said hi to me over the weekend, or took a picture, or got something, like, signed, then thank you. It really does mean the world. But yeah, day 0, I think one of the most surprising things was, that was actually when I got my first, like, piece of merch, because there's this artist, Pepto, and she was just sharing her art around and passing out, like, free art, so I got this, really nice print of the UFO characters, like, that was really cool. And then one of the people I met at Little Tokyo gave me this, really cool, like, Fumo postcard, so, yeah, already with day 0, I was having a great time. And then after we get all the pre-reg and everything, Mary takes me to dinner with her friends, and that was a ton of fun. I actually got to meet another Touhou fan who lives in California, so now we might play the 19 demo when that comes out, so that'll be cool. So yeah, day 0, that's all good. Then day 1 happens. So, I'm coming from pretty far away, it's a 40-minute drive, so I get there with Mary at like 7:30, so then we go our separate ways. I go to the Game Dev Hub, like, area inside the gaming hall, and we are scrambling to set up. Like, we have to get, I think it was like 7 laptops up and running. A member of ours brought a Sega Genesis, so he was messing with that. So we were like using a USB to get all the games on everything, seeing what worked and what didn't. And yeah, we were like working really fast, really quick, but yeah, we did eventually get all the games, and it was pretty cool. Like, we got a lot of people playing all the different games we made. It's pretty exciting. For me personally, I got to, like, actually see people play my games live, aside from just, like, friends and family. And then I had this multiplayer game I made called Phantasmagoria Festive Effervescence, and, like, this was the first time where, like, the multiplayer versus mode was easily accessible. That was really cool. Yeah, and then Rock had this game called Yuka Souls, and it's like, that game was a huge hit. He's planning to put it on Steam, so now he's really set for that. So that was amazing. So yeah, gaming dev booth was, yeah, it was nice. And then next up was the Touhou 9 tournament. Now, Touhou 9 tournament was a bit, like, weird. So, like, Touhou 9 doesn't have that many tournaments, right? So setup isn't something that people necessarily, like, account for. Well, in this case, it was, the convention had, like, a bring-your-own device policy for controllers, right? So a lot of people didn't know that because they didn't, like, announce it outside of the rules until, like, I don't know, 5 days before. So a lot of people were hoping to play, like, keyboard versus keyboard, because a lot of people don't play Touhou on controller. The issue was, none of the keyboard splitters were actually working with the computers. So that was a problem for a while, but if you've been watching my streams, you might know that I've actually been practicing Touhou 9 with a controller because I didn't feel like bringing a keyboard to TouhouFest. So it was... yeah, so as they were sorting the keyboard versus the keyboard out, I was using a controller against, like, other players because they mostly used keyboards, and surprisingly, I was actually winning. Like, I won CC Touhou games on normal mode, so I'm not, like, terrible, but I'm not, like, a competitive player by any means. Like, I don't do LNNs or stuff, or, like, lunatic runs even, but yeah, like, I was winning rounds, and yeah, these players were also pretty good, so, like, there's this one guy who, like, got really close to beating me, and the only reason I think he won, or I think I won, is because they were playing Yuka, and I was playing Rainbow. And if you know how Yuka plays in Touhou 9, yeah, it's a problem. So I got those matches in, and they finally figured out a solution to keyboard versus keyboard, which was, okay, we're just gonna use Adonis setups, which is the Touhou 9 netcode. And since this was all on the same network, you didn't have to do stuff like zero tier or whatever, and all the connections were also really smooth. There's usually a latency of 1, so in most cases, the end result didn't really change for netcode. But yeah, so that tournament was going on, so I kept playing, and eventually I made it all the way to Winners Finals. And I was like, Winners Finals? What? And yeah, I just didn't expect to get that far, but it was really cool. So yeah, I was going to Winners Finals to play my next match, and it was against this girl named Ayana. And I didn't know at the time, but Ayana is very, very good at Touhou. Like, she is pretty famous within the community for being good at Touhou. And yeah, she's played a bunch of the PC98 games specifically, which includes Touhou 3. So yeah, we play, and she absolutely destroys me. Like, so it was, I think we did like 4 rounds, because POFE round is like best of 3, right? So then you do 2 of those for the tournament. And out of all of the rounds, I hit her 1 time. And yeah, because like, I'd be using my level 2s just desperately trying to stay alive, but then Ayana would just have like all of these perfect dodges. It was kind of awesome to witness. So like, yeah, I ended up losing, but it was pretty cool to play against someone who was that good. So then I go to Losers Finals, and I play against this player who I believe their name was Lunistis. And yeah, so these matches were closer, but they were still a better player. So we did like Reimu dittos. So yeah, it was really exciting because Reimu had the homing, so we kept moving back and forth, and yeah. So there were multiple matches where we were both at 1 health, but yeah, they're the better player, so they ended up winning in the end. So I unfortunately did not make it to top 4, but like, I essentially got like 3rd place for my pools, and it's like, that is way better than I thought I would ever do in a Touhou 9 tournament, especially when I started practicing, so that was really cool, and that felt great. But then the tournament ends, right? And then there's 40 minutes until me and DeltaPie do our panel. So after that, DeltaPie and I are like running to the room to get ready. So then when it's our time, it's like, we notice, oh no, we don't know where the projector goes, so we got some tech people help us with that. Then, yeah, we have things, but there's like technical difficulties. I had also forgotten to check, like, when I downloaded from Google Slides the PowerPoint for some of the text, so some of the formatting was wrong. So our panel got off to a bit of a shaky start, but yeah, we do the panel, and yeah, it starts off rocky, but it ends up going pretty well. Like, we talk about a lot of things I think people are interested in. Like, DeltaPie got to talk about the Sudoku hijacks that involved, like, his community members venturing across, like, 3 different countries. And then, yeah, the Q&A was something that really surprised me, too. Because, like, I didn't realize that answering questions would be so much fun. So, yeah, we did our panel, and, yeah, it was great. So after that, it was kind of the first time in the day where it's like, okay, so I'd helped set up the Game Dev Hub booth, I'd done my tournament, I'd finished with the panel, now I can finally go around and look at things. So, like, my friend Eon, he had, like, his own booth where he was, like, demoing his game. He had keychains, so I ended up buying a copy of his game, yeah, and a keychain. So it's like, now with my car keys, I just have something from, like, a Game Dev Hub member, which is really cool. And I was looking around, too, and so, Touhou Music, right. I was able to buy a CD from him, and, like, he was speaking broken English, I was speaking, like, a bit of broken Japanese. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I have a really cool Touhou Music CD now. It was really awesome to see him. But then, here's one of the funniest problems with TouhouFest. It was, the event was so much more expected, like, so much more, successful than the organizers expected, that a lot of people actually sold out of stuff really quickly. Because I know there were 2 other tables that had Touhou CDs, like, that they made, but I wasn't able to buy any because by the time I'd done all this stuff in the morning, everything was sold out, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, I was able to buy a bunch of stuff throughout the con still, and actually, let me go show you now. Alright, so here we have, like, some of my haul from TouhouFest. So you got, like, Mary Renko prints. I saw this, like, Notori sticker and just had it. It was really funny. So over here we have, like, all the Lyric Alive prints. So, like, yeah, the Horror Mizzers, the Bad Apple Hifu prints. And then, yeah, another Hifu prints. And, yeah, meeting Lyric Alive was also a lot of fun. She said she was, like, sorry she missed my panel, which was pretty humbling, actually. That was fun. And then, yeah, I went to the Gensokyo radio booth. I told them, like, how much I have used the service. They knew me because I'm in the Discord server. That was cool. Then here's that Fumo postcard I was talking about earlier. Yeah. Here's the game I bought for my friend Aeon, Touhou Music CD. With the CD, it came with, like, a bonus demo CD. Then I have some art cards because, the company Xseed was at the booth showing off a Touhou game. So, I got some of those. Yeah. Galaxian Recordings, I think they were the ones with, like, a Touhou Eurobeat album that was sold out by the time I got there, which was a shame. And then Phoenix Interactive, so, along with Aeon, there's another guy at TouhouFest who was showing off, like, his, Moko Metroidvania, so that was really cool. And, of course, the TouhouFest poster. Really excited to try to find a place to put this on my wall, that was cool. Might be wondering about this Fumo sticker. Well, that was really nice too, because that was actually a present from a fan, so that was really cool. Yeah, again, thank you for the Fumo sticker. I need to figure out where I want to put it, but yeah, I'm definitely going to put it somewhere. So yeah, that was kind of my merch haul from TouhouFest. So yeah, I get to spend some time looking around for the merch, and then yeah, so we get to, yeah, so Mary's violin panel is coming up, so I go to eat, and this was actually one of my only, like, complaints about the event, which is, there were 2 food trucks, and, like, yeah, the food was good, but also, like, there wasn't too much to eat, I feel like, because, yeah, there wasn't much, like, food around the area walking distance, like, maybe, I don't know, 6 minutes, but that's still kind of far away if you want to get, like, back and forth between everything, since the schedules were so packed. So yeah, I would like to see more food next year. That would be nice, but still, yeah, I did get a thing of fries. That was pretty good. And I go to watch Mary's violin performance, and, like, this is actually another entire, like, giant rabbit hole of a story. So I'm going to save this for later. But yeah, go to the performance, and then it's the Odyssey Eurobeat concert. So, yeah. I love Odyssey Eurobeat, like, I listen to the A1 stuff a lot when I do, like, chess, or just, like, while I'm doing homework. It's really cool to hear songs in English, and, like, yeah, the songs start, Odyssey, she sounds really, really amazing live, like, it's incredible. But here's kind of the funny thing, which is, I think a lot of Touhou fans there just haven't gone to a concert before, so kind of starts out, you have, like, all this hype Eurobeat music, but most people are sitting. It was like, I sent a video to some friends, and they were like, hey, what's up with that? Why is that happening? But yeah, what eventually happens, actually, though, is this Yuyuko cosplayer named Nico eventually, like, stands up and starts dancing. And then I was sitting next to my friend Kombai, and then he turns to me and he's like, I'm gonna go join him. Then Kombai joins him, and I'm like, screw it. Then I join them, and gradually it's like the crowd just slowly grows more and more, like, energized. And then, On the Moon plays. The room just erupts with energy, like, everyone's standing, everyone's singing along. It's fantastic. Eventually the Yuko cosplayer actually, like, ends up throwing their hat to Odyssey. She puts it on while she's performing. It's amazing. And yeah, the hype dies down a little after On the Moon, but essentially from then on, the energy just keeps building and building and building until the very end of the show, where everyone is, like, yelling. I think people will tell you the highlights are, like, UFO Lover, when you have everyone chanting UFO at the same time. UFO! 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 And, Time Will Tell. Oh my god, that was amazing. Like, Time Will Tell is one of my favorite Odyssey songs, and, like, I was chanting hard. I was like dancing to all the songs. It was some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. Worshippers gathering here. Walk yourselves in for the night. I'm off to go make things right. Miles and miles away. To the flag of the parade. Between hell and the sky. Never for vengeance go I. Hellfire living not Achilles heels that kill. So you know exactly how it feels. So that ends, it's like 10 p.m. Yeah, it's time to go home. So already, day one, kind of a unforgettable experience. I got to, like, play Far in Touhou 9, I had my panel, got to see violin performance, and then the incredible Odyssey Eurobeat performance. I had, like, some merch. But yeah, so go the next day, and then because I had done my panel and I'd done the tournament, the next day was kind of the first day where I could just relax a bit. So yeah, I just walked around a bit more. I got to meet a few more fans. That was fun. I got to meet a lot of Touhou fans who actually live in California, which is cool. Oh, and there's this thing that happened near the start of the day that I thought was pretty funny, which was, so they had these rhythm games. They had these rhythm game machines set up in the gaming hall, right? So there was a Hatate cosplayer with an Aya cosplayer, and all the Aya cosplayer had was a white shirt, black shorts, and, like, a red hat. But it actually looked really, really good. It was really cool. So they were playing the DDR machine, and they were, like, really even, and they gathered an audience and did that for 30 minutes. So, like, that's just like a story I have in my mind. I really wish I took a picture, but yeah, I couldn't ask for permission because they were like too busy dancing, but like, yeah, that was cool. And then, yeah, just like talking about cosplayers in general, there were a lot of really cool ones. Like, yeah, my friend Mary obviously went as Mary. There's a Chen cosplayer who was pretty infamous. They kept like doing the honk honk Chen. Yeah, that happened a lot during day 2. That was fun. I met a fan who was like, I think they were doing a Yuka cosplay. That was cool. There were so many cool cosplays. And another thing that happened that day, which was kind of funny, was I met Suwawako, who, yeah, he had a Suwako hat. So that was pretty funny, because I was just kind of walking by, and the guy was like, hey, 2 Touhou YouTubers in the same place. Isn't that cool? And he was like, when's the collab? And I was like, you know, one of the only other times I've ever DM'd this guy was to tell him he's missing his Touhou 9 tournament sets. Because they kept calling Suwawako's name during the Touhou 9 tournament, but he was never there because the cosplay photos were scheduled at the same time, and he'd be doing like the Touhou 10 shoots. But yeah, it was cool meeting him. And then I got to go to Spastic's Touhou panel on storytelling. If you don't know Spastics, he's been in the Touhou community for a long time. He's kind of like got this legendary status as a content creator. And he talked about a ton of interesting stuff, like plot structure of Japanese media. He showed this really cool diagram of like a Legacy of Lunatic Kingdom and how the characters are like formed from like opposites of each other and how they like complement each other and stuff. It was really insightful, and I can't wait to use like the stuff I learned in that panel in my own works. And yeah, so yeah, I do that. I had a great time. And then yeah, there's the Ta music performance, which yeah, I am saving this for its own video along with the violin concert because it is actually insane what happened here. Like, you've probably heard stories if you're looking into TouhouFest. The stories are as good as it sounds. It's pretty wild. But yeah, that happens. Yeah, so then the fest starts kind of winding down. I'm like doing last minute shopping. I think that's when I buy my Lyric Alive prints. And yeah, but the last 2 things I did were... First, I watched the Touhou 9 finals, because I really wanted to see how far everyone get. So Ayana, the girl who beat me, ended up going all the way to the finals, and then I'm with Dali, who's from the Game Dev Hub, and he's saying he knows the other guy who's in the finals. So yeah, we watched those 2 play together, and yeah, it was really cool, because he had these 2 really good Touhou players going back and forth, but then... Yeah, but then eventually the other guy won. His name was Kirkland Signature Hot Dog. So like, I think it was Ayana had played... Yeah, she played all the Touhou games, but I think it was Kirkland had played more POFB. So matches were still like fairly close, so like Ayana took a few rounds, but yeah. Kirkland ended up winning, but then they'd gathered a crowd of people watching, and everyone just clapped because it was some of the best like Touhou play we've seen, and getting to see that live was really cool. So like, yeah, with the finals that good, and then the ending time coming up, I was totally fine with just like having my TouhouFest experience, and there I'd had a really great weekend. I met people, so like, I met a ton of game dev people I'd only known online. I met my friend Konbai, who I mentioned earlier, who I knew from like the Spell Bubble Discord. I met some other Touhou YouTubers I knew. So yeah. But then, like, in the last hour, I spot a Spell Bubble setup. And if you've watched some of my live streams, you know how much I love Touhou Spell Bubble. I'd actually brought a Pro Controller with me on the off chance someone brought the game. So I rushed to grab my Pro Controller. I was like, hey, can I join this setup? And I was able to just play against 3 different people. It was so much fun. And I made some friends there. And yeah, that was cool. Unfortunately, I missed the closing ceremony. And part of that was doing the Bad Apple dance. I mean, hey, Bad Apple explained. It would have been cool to join in with that, but oh well. But the other thing I missed that's pretty important is Miko-tan confirmed that TouhouFest 2024 will be a thing around the same time and near the same location. So I had already been having like one of the best weekends of my life, but just hearing that it's going to happen again, and in a year, which is so soon from now. That was really cool. I had to hear that after, but yeah. So we do all that, and then after all the setup is done, I go to dinner with the Game Dev Hub people, and we just talk about stuff like making Touhou fan games, like the workings of the industry. We actually came up with a game jam, like, game idea that was so cursed that we're never going to tell anyone else about it. But that was fun, because these are people I had been hanging out with for 2.5 years, so just getting to sit down and, like, formally chat with them face to face for the first time. Oh my god, that was amazing. So yeah, we did that, and then you'd think, okay, Sunday's over, that'd be where the day ends, but there's still a bit left. So some people from the Game Dev Hub weren't leaving out until like Monday night, so we decided to do one last get together, and Mary joined me, and they taught us, well, they taught me, Mary had already played, they taught me how to play the Dan Maku card game, and that was a lot of fun. I'd heard about Dan Maku, I've never played it, but yeah, it's like a mix of social deduction, and then you have like your attacking cards. There's a bunch of really cool conversions of game mechanics into card form. So yeah, by the end of that, we were like all clapping. I was like in a 1v1 with Karanto, but yeah, it was just one unlucky draw from a card, and that was enough to seal the game. But yeah, I'm someone who likes luck in games, so that was really, really exciting. Then from there, I say bye to my friends at Game Dev Hub, and later on, I drive Mary to the airport, we say our goodbyes, and that was really the end of TouhouFest. I see the recording time, it's like, I don't know, 25-minute video at this point, but just what an incredible experience. I had so much fun, it was so great just being around a ton of different Touhou fans for so long, and yeah, one of the best things about it actually is, in some ways, the con isn't over, so like, yeah, I met Konbai, but now we're probably gonna hang out more, because I was able to get a lot closer with him, like, over the break. Met that other friend who lived in California. I got to hang out with my friend Kenshin more, and then so now I kind of have this network of Touhou fans near me, and hey, the next Touhou game is multiplayer, so I don't know, maybe I'll host a party or something. But yeah, again, if I saw you at TouhouFest, thanks for coming, and if you were on the fence about going this year, and are wondering if you should go next year, I really think you should. Like, this experience was amazing. It really was as good as everyone was saying it was on Twitter. Like, all the TouhouFest staff in Mikotan, they did a phenomenal job. Like, I think I was already expecting to have a really fun weekend, but so many things went above and beyond expectations to make it unforgettable. But yeah, that was just my general TouhouFest experience. I have a few more videos planned, like I need to upload my panel, and I need to talk about the Ta music performance, because there's quite the story there, and it's really exciting. But if you've stuck around this long, thank you for watching. I'm Megapig9001, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video, and hey, hopefully, see you next TouhouFest.